He's all alone. You have to protect him.
They know its face.
Stay here. I'll be back.
They know its mission. But there's one thing they don't know. This time, there are two. Terminator 2.
Stay down!
One programmed to destroy. The other programmed to protect.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
I swear I will not kill anyone.
Well, hello everybody, and can we just talk about how amazing that trailer is? Like, I want to go rewatch this movie, and I just watched it. So before I dive super deep into anything, I just wanted to let you guys know the reason that we are having Nostalgic Nirvana tonight instead of tomorrow is because I will be on the road on an 18-hour car trip tomorrow. I've got family stuff, so it was just kind of stuff that couldn't wait, couldn't be avoided, and I certainly certainly didn't want to miss out, if that makes any sense. So that's why we're here. And yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. I have a few more people than usual, which is awesome. Thank you everyone for being here. And Chris Persh, you got ripped off. You never saw that advertisement in Australia. Isn't it good? No, Legionist, there will be no car video because I'm a woman and I'm driving. And so that's really all that anyone should demand I do, because it could be problematic otherwise, if we're going to be perfectly honest. Driving and streaming is not my forte, nor will it ever be my forte. I have been hit by someone who was on their phone driving. That is actually part of the reason that I had to have a GoFundMe a while ago. Yeah, my car was totaled because of that person who was on their phone. So, we're gonna not do that. The gents may partake as they see fit, but I will not be partaking in that particular endeavor with them. Now I might stop and do a quick video and be like, here's where we are, and this is how insane gas is, or this is how much of a break you get on gas if you're in this state. But we'll have to see for sure. But first, so that we'll get that out of the way, and then we have quite a few things on the donation side, so thank you guys. So Raj Williams for $5 Canadian, thank you so much, says, there are only 2 Terminator movies, Lady G. Agreed. This one is my favorite of the 2. I promise I will not kill anyone. LOL. Yes, exactly. We just saw that in the trailer too. Yes, this is I love Terminator 2. Was it necessarily needed? No, because they did technically in T1, they did stop it, but then they definitely stopped it in T2 for sure. But we're actually going to take a glimpse at the alternate ending of T2 and show you proof that if it should have definitely stopped with Terminator 2 for sure. There was no intention for this to go any further than 2 films, and it stays at 2 films. There's only 2 Terminator films. So thank you, Raj. Chris for $5. Thank you, Chris. Says, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Now take my money. Yes. Oh my God. I love this movie. Cal G has 3 on the donation side. Thank you so much, Calgie. So the first one for $2 says, man, everything about this film is great. From the stunts to the acting, Robert Patrick plays a cold-hearted killer to perfection. That stare that he does must have been responsible for a lot of nightmares. And the mixture of practical and CGI is 2 of 3 for $2 says, great. Especially with the model they used to show the T-1000 getting blown to bits when Arnold hits him with the grenade. And at the end, fun fact, they had to test out the chase scene with John Hobbs on his bike to get away from the T-1000 because, number 3 of 3 for $2.50, Robert Patrick kept catching up to him too quickly. Call me crazy, but I would have loved to see that. Loved to have seen that. Finally, if that "I know why you cry" line doesn't get you in the feels, bruh, I don't know what will. Agreed. Agreed. Oh my gosh. It's so good. So since I've now teased it, I was going to get to it later, but we'll do it right now because, it's relevant. First and foremost, I don't know if he is in the chat, but I have to thank little Chad. He's got the channel Zennial Entertainment, and he sent me a bunch of clips that I'll be able to use to show you guys today. So the first one that I'm going to show you, courtesy of Lil Chad. He's Lil Chad on Twitter. He does Lil Chad 10 is his handle, and he does a comic strip every week. So this is the alternate ending that he was able to send me, and we're going to check it out right now. Did I unmute it? Yes, I did. Oops. Hopefully. I'm subscribed to Zennial though. Okay, now I'm see. I was the one subscriber. What gives? Anyway, so yeah, that was the alternate ending, and quite frankly, I love that ending. It's so heartfelt, and yes, the kid looks just like Linda. Like it really lets you see that John, he still grew up and he still made a difference. He still impacted the world, but now he's fighting on the floors of Congress. And God, could we use some fighters on the floor of Congress? And I mean actual fighters with morality and common sense and hope. Good God Almighty, could we use them? Holy good goodness. But that is a fantastic ending. I would have been perfectly fine if that had been the actual ending for the film. And it's just it's so good. And the fact that, if a machine can learn the value of human life, then maybe we can too. So it's proof that we like that. You can, there's so much to unpack with that line. It's so simple, but truly, like, this machine was programmed to protect human life, and it grew to understand that the reason you do that is because there's value in human life. And so when this was happening, when the Terminator was becoming a thing, when they were dumping him down into this lava and they were wiping out the last chip and there was going to be no more Skynet, and this was all taking place, you realize that this machine was able to calculate just how important human life is. And we as humans take it for something that we have every single day. But we take it for granted. We don't know if you don't know if you're going to wake up again. You don't know if you're going to get hit by a car. You don't know if this is going to be the last time you see a loved one. And so, but rather than see those things for the miracle that they are, people see them as tedious or cumbersome or, just like taxing. And it's like, oh, it's like living is so hard. Yeah. Okay. But, at least you're alive. Like, you want to be dead? I mean, and people are like, well, it could be in heaven. Whilst that is true, you could be in heaven. God gave you this time on earth for a reason. You should probably use it to the best of your abilities. But this was such a fantastic, fantastic ending. And I would have been perfectly content if this had been the theatrical ending. And I think it would have hit a lot of people really, really hard if it had been. And yes, exactly, Stevenson. It's It is sacred. Eric, what's going on? What's going on, Baconator? But yeah, so like I really truly appreciate every single one of you that are here. Like this means the world to me. And people are like, oh, well, your live stream only has 21 people. Okay, but if you go back 5 months, so Nostalgic Nirvana became a thing in November, but it was like intermittent. But then like February, I was like, no, this is going to be a weekly thing. So I've been in March, and so I got monetized in March, and so I've been doing stuff like this, and each of that is just like a humbling thing. But if you go back to when this first started, I would have 4 people on this live stream when it was live, and I have now 5 times that amount of people. Like, you have to take the victories where they are, but also be humble and appreciative as they come to you. It is so vital and so important that you recognize that as you move forward, things are going to change. And so 21 people are watching this live right now, which is incredible for me. I appreciate every single one of you so, so much. And the fact that you guys spend your time and some of you donate your money, it means the world to me. It really truly does. And oh my gosh, Rough Girl, thank you. Rough Girl for $5 says, because you rock, showing support for you, beautiful. Thank you, gorgeous. That means the world. Thank you. But see, it's stuff like that. Like we can help build each other up, and we can grow together. And even if, giving your opinion or making commentary isn't your thing, or you don't even know what your thing is, like you don't know if it's books or sewing or knitting or gardening or swimming or sports or, maybe just football or golf, whatever your thing is, just embrace it, just enjoy it and love it, because you never know who you're going to be able to reach out to, or who you're going to connect with, or who it's going to speak to, and who it's going to inspire, and who you're going to inspire. And like, it's just, when you think about it in the context of, I currently am sitting at 5 times the amount of viewers that I had 3 months ago. That means that if that stays, like if you continue to think that and we multiply it by 5 again, then that means that I'll be having 125 people watching this stream. If trajectory and stuff like that. So like when you think of it in terms like that, it's insane. It's crazy and it's humbling. And you guys are just so amazing for being here and for taking part. And like, chat, I just straight up love you. You guys make this completely worth it. So like I'm turning into a Cali Valley girl here. So like, I'm never gonna do that again, I promise. But for a machine to be able to figure that out, it should let you know just how important and amazing and incredible you are. Yeah, you got to put in the work, and yeah, it's hard, but and you're not always going to see in fact, you will rarely ever see instantaneous results. But if you just keep doing it, and you just keep being like, if you're consistent and you're honest and you put your best foot forward, and you can't do that all like 24/7, 365. But if the majority of the time you're just down to earth and you just talk to people like the people, most people will reciprocate, because we're all people, right? But yeah, Jens Anderson of the thank you, Jens, for South Korean, I think is what that is. My standard question: have you seen Stargate? Which Stargate? Because I've seen them all. More like morning students, 2 a.m. here. My God, go to bed. But yes, I have seen them all. Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding? I own the box sets. I love Stargate and Firefly and Star Trek and OG and PT Star Wars. There's only 6 Star Wars films. Gosh, I've got the Hercules series on DVD. I've got Xena. Lord, I've got a lot. I have a lot of 90s shows, and I have a lot of lots of 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s shows and films on DVD. but it's, yes, definitely some Babylon 5 for sure. 4 a.m. My gosh, you guys are truly humbling me. You're spoiling me. I appreciate you. 6 p.m. where you're at, Legionist. Okay, that means you're on time. You're on the best time zone. But guys, there's just so much out there to love, and that's what these nostalgic Nirvana streams are for. They are for you guys, hopefully to help rediscover or to discover something that you forgot about or maybe never heard of, and that you can enjoy. Because this whole stream is about finding someplace else to put your time and your money to invest in. So that is what these are for. And I really do appreciate every single one of you. Now, again, thanks to Lil Chad, because it was one of our donations, I do have the I Know Why You Cry clip for you all, because it just seems too perfect to not play right now. Got nothing. I had to stop it. The music was about to start. Like, we had the low grumble stuff in the background that I was kind of trying to talk really loud over. But the stuff coming up, there's no way I would be able to cover that. And the rest of these clips have music in them, unfortunately copyrighted music, so I can't play those, unfortunately. But I think we got pretty good. The 2 clips that we did get were pretty cool. And I guess a lot of you haven't seen the alternate ending, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. Kindle's missing white chromosome. Hey, bud, for $2 says, in the words of Az, I love you so much. Yes, I love you so much. I do. I love each and every one of you so very, 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 very much. Yes, movies today do suck. And Top Gun Maverick literally followed the 80s formula. It's a movie from the 80s. They made an 80s movie in today's world. They followed the 80s movie formula, really more like early 90s movie formula. And look at what happened. They're like, these companies just have got to pull their butts out, or their butts. Well, they got to pull their butts out too, but they got to throw their heads off with their heads, throw them away. Quite frankly, they just need to recycle their heads. They need new heads. I hear that Walt Disney's head is still on ice. Oh my God. Could you imagine if they woke up Walt right now? He would lose his mind again. Like, he'd lose his mind. Look at what has happened to his company. The man was anti-communist, anti-China, like, he was anti all this stuff. And it is everywhere in his company. In fact, his company is a champion of it. Yeah. No. Just, oh man. It's just what Disney company has become, Walt would hate. I can say that with confidence. Yes, this is the best sequel of all time. It's not debatable, because Two Towers is not technically a sequel, because it's really all one book. It's really all one movie, but it is the greatest trilogy of all time. It is Lord of the Rings. So yes, but this is the greatest sequel. I agree. Play them, get channel strike, make my channels under attack video, tag Quartering on Twitter. He makes vids, you get more subs. I like this, Beckinator. You have the mind of a, what would that be? I guess solid YouTube business head is what you've got. But Walt Disney, the epic return, he would burn the whole thing down. Oh yeah, Walt Disney, Gene Roddenberry, Tolkien, my God, like, they're all, Christopher Tolkien too, they're all spinning in their graves. They could probably power the earth 6 times over with the amount that they are spinning in their graves. It is absolutely insane to me that oh man, Robert Jordan too. Throw Robert Jordan on that list. Like, just not good. Hail to the na. Yeah, pretty much. Even a machine could understand emotion and empathize with young John Connor. Yet even the leads in most modern movies cannot. No, it's because people today have no common sense, have no like, people today are more robotic than the Terminator from the 1990s and 1980s. This did come out in 1991. but it's still technically an 80s film. But yeah, this is yes, he did, Chrysanth. Yes, he did. Throw their butts and heads away. I mean, really, honestly, maybe they'd stop sitting down on the job and then something useful would actually come from them because they don't have the empty space of brains like rummaging around up there. But no, it's just, I don't know. I wish there was this love for film and for, I wish there was this love for shows. I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Top Gun Maverick was lightning in a bottle. And with Sony Spider-Man, the No Way Home, they're going to take the wrong we all know they're going to take the wrong message from it. Like, we all know they're going to take the wrong message from it. And it's going to be, oh, we just need more cameos. We need multiples of the same character in one film. No, that is not true. The only reason that worked for Spider-Man is because you've got people who are like my generation, and we were like young. So you get the people who Toby was their Spider-Man, and then you get the generation for people who Andrew was their Spider-Man. And now you've got Tom. And so each one of these Spider-Mans has their own independent faction of fans. And then they were able to be brought together because why? They respected the story. They respected Spider-Man. They respected the suit. And it didn't become like this weird cucking of Toby or of Andrew. Cause like they even, like, he's like, I'm part of the Avengers. And they're like, great. What's an Avenger? Like, that's the joke. Like, the Avengers don't exist in their universe, right? So like, Tom became the joke on that one because they're like, we do this on our own. Who are the Avengers, right? And so it was just like this fantastic lightning in a bottle moment. And they respected the lore, they respected the characters, they respected the story, and it set it up to where we could go back and look at Tobey Spider-Man and what he and MJ are doing because they alluded to it. We could see how Andrew's Spider-Man is doing because they alluded to that. So it is just it's just it was meaningful because the payoff had been decades in the making. And that is what is wrong, and that is one of the biggest issues with the MCU right now and with what DC tried to do. So DC tried to do the whole live action extended universe thing. The problem was they rushed it. Rather than giving each individual character their moment, their own storylines for us to get to know them, for us to invest in them, they had, what was it? Man of Steel, Batman v Superman. Like, where's the Batflick movie? Give me a Ben Affleck movie. Like, I want a full Ben Affleck Batman movie solo, right? Give me that. Why are we like, we got Aquaman, we're getting a Flash movie. What is wrong with you, DC? But they tried to rush it. They tried to shove it all out, and it did not work. And so they cucked Superman. I didn't even know you could do such a thing, but they cucked Superman. Oh my God. And so rather than giving these characters their own lineage and their own legacy, they tried to force it. They tried to rush it. Then they tried to shove Ben Affleck out and Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder. Like, they tried to shove them out, but then they would like dangle little bits and tease them and stuff like that and be like, oh, well, if you do this, then, or like, you better not do this, or we'll do this. So yeah, that sounds like a really non-toxic place to work for sure. But I just, I really want a Batfleck movie. He's my favorite Batman. I don't care what anybody says. He is the most comic book accurate Batman we have ever had. And he's also the most comic book accurate Bruce Wayne we've ever had. He played both characters exceptionally well. And it is a crime that we have not gotten a solo Batfleck film. I digress. Jens has to dash. Fun stream, gotta sleep now. I'm Swedish. Toby Hart. Yes, Toby is my Spider-Man and will always be my Spider-Man. But yeah, I don't know what the decision-making process is over there, but Warner Brothers has like driven themselves off a cliff and into a lake of fire. They've lowered themselves into a pit of lava, but where he couldn't self-terminate, they are self-terminating, and they can't figure out why they're failing. It'd be hilarious if it wasn't so tragic. Dude, just like this movie, there's so many iconic lines and looks and scenes. It's just fantastic. Like, you can't not love this movie. You simply cannot not love this movie. It's so good. Like, really good. This scene alone, because it doesn't go quite like the first one does, because we're all expecting it to go a certain way, right? But it doesn't quite go that way. Again, I think it's absolutely brilliant that only living tissue can like non-organic tissue can't travel through time. I think that is an excellent and brilliant restraint or constraint to put on what are effectively indestructible machines. I think that was a brilliant move. And also because, like, obviously, like, their probably mindset was, well, we need a way to make them look more human because you can't CGI the robot the whole time. Because remember, this is still the early 90s. So I think the CGI, first of all, can we just talk about how perfect Robert Patrick is as the T-1000? Yes, he's not organic, but he's got the organic, just like Terminator does. The T-1000 it has that organic tissue on the outside. The difference is that it can mold it. So Skynet got smarter. It learned how to like mold the organic tissue, right? But again, it's not like they can't bring back the technology from they can't bring back the weapons. They can't bring back any hard data with them unless you're going to put it into their memory bank, which would then make them useless because you've now got two programs who are like that are butting heads inside of your Terminator or your T-1000s, right? So, but like, look at this. Like, even this is some fantastic work. Oh my God. Look. I know Robert Patrick is a bit, but like, he's terrifying. He is terrifying. I just absolutely incredibly amazing, but like, he is the quintessential bad guy. Like, he is one of the bad guys that I compare all other bad guys to when it comes to film. And I'm telling you right now, virtually none match up to him. Like, virtually none. Obviously Hans from, oh my God, not Lethal Weapon. Oh my Lord. No, why can't I? Oh my God, it's a Christmas movie. Help me. Oh my God, someone. Alan Rickman played him. He drops him off a building. Why can't I think of... There's like 6 films of it now. Even though the first 2 or 3 are really the only good ones. Die Hard. Sweet Jesus. Thank you, Boba Fett. Why was that? Yes, Hans Gruber. Thank you, guys. My brain... Thank you. A lot sooner because I was on this struggle bus for a minute. Holy crap. Yeah, yippee-ki-yay. So, like, the T-1000 and Hans Gruber are, like, who I compare other bad guys to. Predator doesn't really count because it's an alien. So if I'm like watching a sci-fi, I'm like, you're not as terrifying as Predator. So there's that. But yeah, no, they had such good bad guys. And by good bad guys, I don't mean that they were misunderstood and they're actually good guys. No, I mean like they're legitimately bad dudes. Very bad dudes. But it's just, it's fantastic. I love it. This is the scene, right, where he kept catching up. Is that right, Chris? This is the scene where Patrick kept catching up. Because he was on the bike. This scene actually makes me chuckle. Like, I know why it's there, but also like I love it, but also see, and then like you have, this is where I get really confused because people are like, oh, you've not had anyone who played, like, no people of color played meaningful roles before 2016. And I'm like, what? Like, did we watch the same movies? I don't think. Oh, Sultan, you have a good night. Sweet dreams. First of all, Joe Morton is an incredible actor. He's been around a minute, and he did so well in this movie. And also her trying to just save people and willing to threaten his family to do it, top notch. Like, Linda Hamilton is just a next level actress. And, you know, the way she portrayed Sarah Connor as this mother who would literally went to prison. She went to a psych ward for her son. Like, she got locked up in the loony bin for her boy. That's a mother. That is a mother. Oh my God, this scene. Oh, when he's coming and she thinks that he's there to kill him. And then the truth gets revealed. And you're like, okay, so, because we had two go back in the first one. So people are like, okay, this, like when people are like, oh, it's such an overdone trope. I'm like, bitch, stop. You are not smarter than everybody else. Everybody thought he was going to be, because, like, you know, that's another thing that you got to give to Robert Patrick, because at the very beginning, you're kind of still in suspense. You're like, okay, well, obviously, because he's the Terminator, he's been sent back to kill him, and he's come back to save him, just like Reese in T1. But then you get this twist of, you know, John's older self reprogrammed the Terminator to go back and protect his mother and his younger self because of like he knew that he would see him first, like they would get to the Terminators first. He'd be reminded of the bond they shared as a child, and he would reprogram one of these and wouldn't destroy all of them. Like, that is some next level. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to do time travel, you have to be very, very, very intelligent. Okay? Like, you have, like, T1 was a closed loop and T2 was a closed loop. So anything beyond T2 doesn't count. I don't know what it is. It's an alternate timeline. It's just not real. Okay? But yeah, everybody, and I do mean everybody, was expecting Robert Patrick to be the hero. And it's like, okay, he's clearly determined to take down the T-1000 just like Reese was, but he's a different kind of, he's like a super soldier. He's going to go back and, yeah. So like he's going to go back and he's going to take care of the Terminator on his own, right? And then it's not till you get to, oh no, did I not click on it? Where'd it go? Man, I thought I set that up so well. See, I was too smart for my own good. It's not till you get here in the hallway when you realize that, oh, never mind, we were wrong. He is not the bad guy. And then like it gets explained to you and you're like, oh my God, this is so fantastic. And then of course that ending is just phenomenal. And the stakes are so, like, here's the thing too, you know, the stakes in this, we talked about this a little bit when we were on the doing the alternate ending, and we were talking about the line, like, I know now why you cry. But the stakes in this are so intense, and they're always there. And then there's sacrifice and there's self-sacrifice. Like, the machine isn't feeling like this emotionally, But again, he doesn't allow himself to be destroyed until the threat has been neutralized, right? But John had to give him up. The only father figure that he ever had, right? It's a line in the movie. I had no idea that the best father figure that I could find for my son would be a Terminator. So it just talks about this, and it's simply through virtue of him being, so John had programmed him a specific way, right? So you have to remember that this machine doesn't have emotions, and yet he was the best father figure that Sarah could have found for her son John. And it's just so fantastic, because you have this strong, stoic, capable individual entity, and whose whole purpose, which is supposed to be the purpose of a father, who Kyle Reese no doubt would have been had he survived, but the whole purpose of being a father is to protect your children, to protect your wife, the mother of your children, like to protect who you care about. And the T-800 was programmed to be that type of father figure for John, and to show him that strength lies in action and in making the correct decisions, and to understanding what is going on beyond the surface. And, you know, she brings up, like, the Terminator would never hit him, would never get angry with him, would never do any of these things with him, but it would show him the way, it would guide him, and it would teach him discipline. So there's, like, this movie hits the ideal father figure so well, and it's a machine. It's a machine. It's just so incredible when you like look at it in this scope, because you have to think what adult John has gone through. He's met his father. So he was born before his father. And then when his father was born, he met his father, but his father had no idea who he was. And then he got to watch as his father did things and proved himself, and, you know, was a capable individual, someone who could be a protector. And then he started, you know, and then Kyle fell in love with Sarah before he ever met her. And it was just perfect. Like, you can't, I don't know. It's hard for me to envision I guess it's hard for me to envision this going any other way. You know what I mean? And I think it's just so absolutely intelligent and well written and incredible. And I think that if more people looked at this, and took the valuable lessons from it, like what it means to be a strong male role model and to be a father, and how, because even femininity shines in this movie. Sarah is the embodiment of a mother and protectiveness and self-sacrifice. Look what she went through for her son to keep him safe, and continues to do so. I wish that more screenwriters, more writers would take this into consideration when it comes to their stories. Because when it becomes the message over the story, that's where we're dying. Like, that's where entertainment goes to die. That's where, you know, people have to be able to draw their own conclusions and do their own things, and pull, if you don't have universal lessons like good versus evil and right versus wrong and motherhood and fatherhood and stoicism and strength of character, strength of virtue, you're never going to grow. it's just, I don't know. It's not anything that we see today. Everything is just shallow. It's all face value. There's nothing deeper. There's nothing more than what you're shown, and you're beaten over the head with it. You're not allowed to draw your own conclusions. You're not allowed to make your own assumptions or to take perceptions, like to take a different perception from something. No, it has to be exactly what the showrunners and the corporations want you to take from it, and the activists want you to take from it. And if you don't take that from it, then you're a bigot, you're a phobe, you're an ist, you're a phobe, you're all of these things. But the beauty of films like this is they are timeless, and they will last. They will stand the test of time. They already have, and they're going to make it through this woke purge, this woke attempt at a purge, this activist driven lunacy. And we're going to come out the other side. And this is most likely going to be known as probably the dark age of entertainment. Probably like 2014 to 2024, unfortunately, because these things seem to go in like 10-year stints, maybe a little bit longer. You're going to have some like 1919. Gosh. Spider-Man. You know, you'll have, I'm trying to think of like mainstream stuff, because Endgame wasn't even, I've still not seen it, so Endgame was not all that. To the Disney, Star Wars was definitely, that's what got us on this insanity train to begin with. Though apparently Twilight does have to take some of that blame, and we also have to shove some of that blame onto the Hunger Games as well. Just like the YA young adult postmodernist dystopian stuff needs to really die really fast, because it's quite terrible, and it has sent us down this insanity loophole with nihilism and no hope and no heroes and no villains and just androgyny. It's quite terrible. But yeah, this will probably be known as the dark ages of entertainment, because my God, it's bad and it's barren. So we just gotta hang. Picture this: years 2037. Iceland gets wide release in theaters, produced by Daily Wire. Opens alongside Avengers. Avengers flops. Iceland grosses $2.5 billion. Dude, I'd be there for it. But really, you guys, just hang on to what you love. Share what you love with other people. And really just appreciate what you have. Get physical media so that you have it. And don't, it's your money. Do with it what you will. But these are just my suggestions. And just stop buying stuff and stop watching stuff. Let them know that you're discontent. And just go support other good things. You've got the Rippaverse. You've got Razor Fist's book. You've got Shadiversity's book. You've got people in this community who can draw, who can letter, who can color, who can write. Find good, like, obviously I'm not saying just jump right into something with somebody, like a business with someone, but like build a foundation, build a relationship, build a friendship, do a little bit of work together, see if you work together well. If you do, take it and run with it. Okay. But there's such an opportunity here. While mainstream people are falling on their face, this is really where you need to just like grasp what you love to do and run with it. Mud crab. I've not written it entirely, but yes, I am trying my hand at it. I don't know if I'll ever publish it, or if I do, I might just give it to my friend and she'll publish it under her name possibly. But it's It's just fascinating to see all of this. So guys, it's not just not spending your money on things you hate, but it is investing into what you love and enjoying what you love and letting people know, sharing it, opening up the door for other people, guiding them to it, and showing them that they don't have to just consume this modern nihilist nonsense that we've been constantly getting shoveled down our throats. But I am gonna have to cut it. We usually, so it's been about 50 minutes. I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit short today because I do have to be up earlier than I normally am, and I've got quite the drive ahead of me. So, if I had to rate Terminator 2, it is a 10. It is a 10 out of 10. And if you've not seen it, go watch it. If you have seen it, go watch it again. And watch number 1 as well. And trust me, you will not you will not be disappointed. These two films, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, are a perfect date night, quite frankly. If your date doesn't like Terminator movies, guys, she's not the one. She's not the one. I'm sorry. Like, you can't be a 10 and not like the Terminator movies. It's just not a thing. That makes you a 1. Just saying. So go give it a watch. It's a 10 out of 10. And you guys know me, I judge harsh. So enjoy it. Love it. Re-experience it. And just have fun. Yes, there's only 2 Terminator movies, Charlie Stevenson. Absolutely. Driving and travel music. So I do listen to some audiobooks, but then depending on my mood, if I wouldn't get hit for it, I would play you guys some. But it's basically if you took Gregorian chant and you turned it into metal or rock. I really enjoy it. Maybe think like end boss of like Final Fantasy games or something like that. But I do love my audiobooks. I love my metal, I love my rock, I love my country. That's the good stuff. So yeah, exactly, Cal G. If she doesn't like Terminator, she's instantly a 0.3. Yes, very Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Legionist. I do have them on there as well. But it's the first movie is its own prequel and sequel. That is the joy of the closed time loop. Yes, that is true. Like, you can watch the first Terminator movie and be completely content, but T2 is just like fantastic. But there's no Terminator movies after T2. So I know what I'm gonna listen to on the drive back. Thank you, Beckinator. Oh, nice. Fantastic. So thank you for that suggestion. But yeah, guys, just make sure that you're enjoying the stuff you love. Don't let anybody try to force you into liking or accepting or promoting stuff that you don't actually like, love, or believe in. You need to know yourself, and then you need to know what it is you stand for and what it is you actually like, what you want to see reflected in your shows, because it comes down to more than just genre. Like, it's like, well, I only like action movies. Okay, well, what kind of action movies? Is it buddy cop action films? Is it action comedy? Is it sci-fi action? Like, what is it that you're looking for? So make sure that you guys know who you are and what it is you want, so that when you go out and someone can be like, well, you're only saying that because this, you can be like, no, actually, it's because I genuinely care about and love this thing, and this is why, and this is how long. So I really do appreciate and love every single one of you. Like I said, you guys mean the world to me. I don't see anything else on the donation side, and I got all the super chats. So I think we should be. Thank you, Chris Persia, for sniping that bot. So it's been fantastic. I listen to Nightwish all the time, Omniscient guy. If you're omniscient, shouldn't you have known that? Just saying. But the weather is supposed to be quite nice, actually. So thank you so much for that. But I appreciate every single one of you. And I hope you have a fantastic evening and just enjoy yourselves. Have a lot of fun. Go watch the Terminator films, 1 and 2, like T1 and T2. They're the only Terminator films that exist. And I will see you guys later. Maybe later this week. Definitely next week. Much love, Godspeed, and God bless everybody. Good night.